So of those events, obviously there's a few we want to keep. Pumpkin painting, stage, Veterans Day flags, it's been very appreciated. Our December program, cake supper, and that's they're a little bumpy. Just make sure everyone knows it's lighthearted.
How'd that go?
Yeah.
Good morning, Bob G. How are you this morning?
It's like 5 right now.
Good morning.
Just testing to make sure our speakers are good, which they are. We heard you loud and clear here. Now I'm gonna.
Good. I hear you loud and clear also. Great.
All right, awesome. I just want to get our district governor up and running so that he's aware of what's going on. So, district
Great.
governor, just say good morning to you, and if you want to chime in and just say hello as the gang starts filtering in. He might not be at his desk, so. Okay, that to the door. This going.
That's great. But maybe, so maybe we can incorporate some sort of. That's a good idea. Okay. We're not talking about things on this data.
Just to make sure it's gonna work. I see him. I don't know if he's.
We started it. And then we moved it outside. And also it's kind of an easier spot for people to get there. It is. Yeah. It was a lot at the white. Maybe it's five so yeah, it's not over. This year, I feel like it's year before. I remember that before.
Hello, Eileen.
Good morning, District Governor. How are you?
Good morning. How are
Morning,
you
Bob.
doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, same here. Let's see. There, I am here right now. I'm just still getting
It's the
things set up.
Diamond Man.
It is, and still getting things set up for our meeting. And there's another meeting going on in-house, so a nice busy morning.
Oh.
Yes.
So Eileen, isn't this a 7:30 meeting? Yeah.
So that's one day that.
Yes, okay.
I don't have 7:30 yet.
No, I don't either.
They're having a committee meeting usually.
Absolutely, Joe. It's one of those days.
Okay, I think we have a meeting over here, guys.
They're having a meeting.
Okay, all right. I won't talk too loud.
How's Jill doing?
Okay, getting older and older.
Doing nice holiday? What's good if you're getting older?
Remember back to your high school, college days, over summer. Get a car now, man.
Flavor juice today, partner.
Good morning.
Cindy, I'm here, so if any questions come I work in the source industry. For like 2 minutes last Friday.
So what is that?
Looking forward to it. I'm here for questions.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Eric, this $25 charge. Well, two things. One, I didn't realize you were paying that. We can reimburse you.
Yeah, and I don't worry about, I'm not concerned at all about that.
As far as okay, so I see you're putting one through.
Yeah, okay.
Is that going to your account? It's not going to your account?
That's what I'm.
It's still not? Okay,
You're not
let me,
seeing it either,
no.
so I'm thinking-
I just got another new bank statement within the last couple of days. I'm gonna check again.
Yeah,
Just
I think
make
ours
sure.
will come in
Okay.
maybe next week.
Okay, just let me know.
That's my thought. It must be, even though I have it, I should have it set up to go. I mean, we'll get it figured out. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you know, I'm supposed to be on a diet, you know.
I can tell, a lot of fruit.
A lot of fruit, yeah.
Joe, can you talk,
Sure, yeah. My God, I'm trying to fill out this goddamn form that says, you know, the one form on there.
Yes.
Another one.
Yes, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna get rid of the PowerPoint, go back to the meetings. Okay, so.
You guys been traveling?
We've been back and forth to see the kids. So we spent Christmas up in Syracuse. And we spent a couple of days after that. And then we left from there and went to Providence to see Jackie. So we were gone for a week, you know, and just, you know, traveling. Just, had a lot of driving.
Good morning, Zoom land. I see Bob Goller, DG
Morning,
Bob.
Bob.
Good morning, everyone.
morning.
Good
Good
morning
morning.
there. Welcome.
Hi,
Breakfast.
Eileen.
Hey. Hello, good morning.
And they'll easily pick you up the microphone.
All right, good. Hey, great to see everybody here this morning. Bob, thanks. Bob and Bob, thanks for checking in.
Glad to be here in Zoom land.
We're in Zoom
So
land.
let's, need to.
Glad to be just here.
Yeah.
I don't know, you got 2 kids, so
Well, I think most people that go through it, it's, you know, the rehab is what's, you know, let's face it, you're taking advantage of.
And you're opening up, yeah. Wow, whatever. She's having second thoughts about having it done this time of year. She wanted to do it so you could get down to Florida.
Yeah.
Down for 3 months and a half. But she should have had it done during the summer.
Then it's easier to down walk and stretch
Yeah.
out.
It's a long time of year, you know, you're stuck inside. It's hard to read. On Monday.
When are you heading down to
February 5th. Gonna be down the 18th of March. I go down at the beginning of March.
We'll be down from, we're heading up to the fourth, we're heading down to Hilton. And then we'll be going for right, and then we're coming back for 2 weeks, and then we'll be down in Florida from March 4th.
So Eric, you're doing the trumpet and the Zoom.
Well, that's the place to be.
Yeah.
Are you coming back, you flying back, you come back on the other train?
Fine.
We're gonna try the other train. Never done that.
Well, not a bad experience. We got you in Orton for 65,000 feet. And then where you're going, probably go out. What I suggest is, rather than taking I-4, depending on, well, you're gonna get
Good
there, right?
morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Eileen. What I'm gonna do for the time being, so you don't have to listen to us all eat food here. At the moment, I'm gonna mute the microphone here. And then once we get started, I'll have the roadside live as well.
Driving from here.
That doesn't mean that we can't talk to each other.
That is correct. Chat away. If you want to put
Yeah.
anything in the chat channel, feel free to do that. Once I grab some breakfast, I'll monitor the chat channel as well.
Are
Yeah,
we
go enjoy
starting
your
late?
breakfast.
Do all the
Right,
driving.
if you go in the ocean,
Yeah, I do all the driving.
Okay, so he's muted, so we can't hear them eat, but we can say good morning to each other.
Yes.
Morning, everybody.
Yes.
Good
that's
morning to
true.
you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Anybody heard what the latest is on the snow forecast?
No.
Yes,
Try cold.
yes. Last night, the last I heard was that we may have 1 to 2.5 inches across the Lehigh Valley.
Oh, that's not as bad as they thought it would be originally. Good.
Exactly. The real snowfall will be down around the Jersey Shore.
That makes sense. Actually, they asked our son, he was supposed to go home Friday. Now he's going home today because of, they asked him to switch flights.
See, are you in
Yeah.
San Francisco? I see the Golden Gate Bridge in back of you.
No, I wish I was. No, I am home. We are home. My son's going back to Seattle today, so we are home. We had a Christmas, so, late Christmas due to, daughter had COVID, so
Oh,
over
my.
Christmas, yeah, triple vaxxed, so. But
She
it was
had the
very
thr-
mild.
She had
Very,
the
very
3
mild.
shots and she had it. Wow.
Yeah, very mild. She just had a lot of fatigue. So it was a good thing. So you should get vaxxed, even though you might still get it.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't know
I
what the
got it.
truth is anymore.
I had
Oh,
two.
but that is the truth. The truth, it never was that you wouldn't get it. The truth was that you would have a mild case if you got it. So
Yeah.
there you go.
And I was vaxxed. I had both shots and was not boosted, but I got it too right before Christmas.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
sorry to hear that.
Oh, really? Sorry, yeah.
And believe it or not, the COVID was better than the reaction from the shots in my body.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
I
Wow.
was really sick with the shots. I thought I just had a sore throat when I had COVID.
Oh,
Oh.
How do you
Every-
feel now?
I'm doing well. Way past quarantine. I still have but I have a sinus issue all winter. So I was not surprised when I got sick, but I was surprised that I had COVID.
So you were
Yeah,
tested.
yes.
Well, I was tested because I was due to go get my booster shot. And
Oh,
my doctor said, because you have this sore throat, you should go and get tested just in case. Because you don't want to get the booster shot if you have COVID during the COVID outbreak.
I see.
So I got tested, and yes, I had it.
Did anybody else that you socialize with have it? Do
No.
you know where you
no
got
one
it?
else. No. But it was like 2 weeks before Christmas, and I was busy doing things on my own. So I really wasn't doing a lot of socializing. The people I was with, I notified, and nobody got sick.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that's the interesting thing too. Our grandson and our daughter's spouse were negative both weeks that they did the PCR test. Only Brandy was positive. And so it's interesting because they were in the same household. They didn't wear masks, but they had an outbreak at their daycare. So, but it's very easy. I think you could just probably get it. Well, so many people walk around without masks, so you could get it in the store.
right.
Yeah, my daughter works at the Lehigh Valley Hospital, and she said that although the ICU beds have filled up to about 83%, 88% of the people in ICU and being hospitalized are people that did not have vaccinations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So my question is, with the Omicron and the easier transferability of the virus, how will that affect our tracing? I mean, it
Tracing?
seems that, yeah,
You
I mean,
think
that's
they trace anymore?
we do, yes, we do in Rotary.
Oh,
yeah.
you mean because you notify people? Yeah, our daughter
Well, yeah,
notified
you have to
people that
notify
she saw.
people. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have a COVID policy and a COVID advisor. Last night, I asked him to take a look at the guidelines to update for Omicron.
So, so do you decide, because like at our meetings, that's why Gary and I are not there today. I mean, nobody wears a mask, very few at our Rotary meeting, because most
No.
people feel they're vaccinated. So, I mean,
Well, most people are eating as well.
yeah, so how do you avoid that at a Rotary meeting?
Well, it's real simple. You do what you and Gary are doing, and I think that through the month of January, we're going to see more and more Rotarians do this hybrid thing at home. Last night, Florida and I didn't go to our meeting in person. We stayed at home.
Well, with everyone catching this new variant now, I wonder if we're going to build up herd immunity faster than ever, and whether there is such a thing as herd immunity, or will you just catch it again and again and again, like you do the common cold?
I think it's a repeated experience.
And that's what I'm afraid of.
Yep, that's what it is.
Become the new standard.
There's no herd immunity for smallpox either.
Yeah, right. But the smallpox vaccine lasts you a lifetime. This one wanes very quick,
Yeah, Bob, we have been through so much technology. 4 years ago, I got a shingle shot, and then 2 years ago, my doctor said, "Oh, we've got a much better vaccine now. Go in for the two dose."
Right.
So that's what I did, and supposedly that's going to take care of it. I don't know, and I suspect that we'll have better vaccines for COVID as well.
I think
You're
that's
probably
true.
right. I had the same experience with the Shingrix and the new the double shot thing and went through the whole process and so on. The problem with it was availability. I had to wait on line for X amount of months to be able to get my second Shingrix stick, you know?
Oh, you had to wait for months. Wow.
Yeah.
That's because it was so new probably when you got it. I mean, Gary and I didn't have trouble getting the second, but like
yeah.
you, Bob, I had the first one and I got shingles, but a mild case.
Oh
my God.
my.
So
Oh,
they
I'm
do
so
get
sorry.
better. They do
Yeah.
get
Oh
better.
my.
Yeah, that's nothing I'd want. I had a grandmother who was plagued with shingles for 25 years, and it's no way to spend your life.
Sure, sure. I sometimes feel like we're in a human beta test here with the vaccinations, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've had so many shots lately that I didn't even remember that I got my flu shot in mid-November. So I made an appointment with CVS to get a flu shot. And as I drove near I got a phone call. Hey, we're canceling you. You had your flu shot.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Hard to
nice to
keep.
know that they have those records and they're on top of it.
Well, it is nice, particularly because it was through the CVS and not Rite Aid or something else. Had I gone to Rite Aid, Eileen, they would have no record of the flu shot.
That's right.
It was just dumb luck. And of course, that speaks volumes to what I remember.
Well, join the club.
Yeah.
It's called the senior moment.
Well, I Bob, in all fairness, we've had so many shots lately. How can you separate them?
I know. And not only that, but on top of all of this, I go for a monthly allergy shots. So I'm like a human pincushion here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my wife does that as well. And that's something. So you folks are having a club assembly today, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, all the different chairs get up and present and give updates.
Yeah, good. I look forward to it.
Eric's been doing a very good job with the Zoom. It really works much better than it used to work, and the audio and the video is much better, and it's really
Well,
working
first of all,
out well.
you're using Zoom. You're not using
Right.
Box. I had a lot to learn when I first started doing your meetings remotely at MAS because the Box software wasn't easy for me I couldn't intuit. I'd been doing GoToMeeting and Zoom, so that was a new world order for me.
Yeah, I like Zoom the best. It seems to be the best user-friendly one. I've used GoToMeeting, and I seem to like Zoom better. It's more intuitive.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Hey, well, I've got you on the line here. I'm going to do a commercial for the district conference, April 22nd through 24th at Hershey Lodge. We're going to be requiring people to be vaccinated or negative tested, and we're going to have color-coded lanyards to indicate how comfortable people are getting close to each other.
I see.
Yeah, so we want people to be assured that we're doing what we can to minimize any.
I was doing some reading about COVID this morning, and WFMZ, our local video station, on their website now has a COVID tracker link you can click on, and it shows you the amount of cases every week in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and the New York metropolitan area. And what's amazing to me is that the COVID cases are so prevalent in the last couple of weeks, yet people are getting through it, unlike the original version 1, I would say, of COVID.
Yeah, variant D, or yeah, right.
And so it's kind of encouraging. And even the people that are hospitalized, with 88% of them at Lehigh Valley Hospital being people that were unvaccinated, that gives you a little encouragement. So I guess we're all going to get it. It's just a matter of when, and hope it builds herd immunity after going through all of this crap, But I wonder, because Because you don't get herd immunity from a cold because they keep changing, you know?
Well, we have a lot more to learn about this, but it seems that the variants are created when unvaccinated people get COVID.
The more amazing thing to me in reading this stuff this morning was that China has very few cases. If they're telling the truth, you know.
Yeah, that puts the
Good morning, United Rotary. It's good to see everybody this morning. Happy New Year to everyone. Please stand if you can. Welcome to America. We'll get started here soon. Flags over this way.
Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America.
Soon know what I meant. Soon know what I meant. Our invocation thought of the day, Bob Kraus.
With our friends beside us, no person beneath us, with the bonds of Rotary between us, and our worries behind us, with our goals before us, and no task beyond us, with a thirst for knowledge and a dream of a polio-free world, we are thankful for our Rotary friends and the meal we are about to share. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. Today, Don, I just want to introduce our guests that we have today.
I believe the only guest is Center Square there up on the board.
District Governor Bob Coball is with us today. Welcome, and welcome everybody in Zoom land. Good to see everyone out there today. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Thank you. We're not going to do birthdays today. Sal's, I don't know if you know, Sal's mom is not doing well, so he's not here today.
Hang on a sec.
Pardon?
Hang on a sec. Who's doing the trumpet?
Oh, excuse me.
What year does it happen to be?
Could be a 5.
Oh, wait, Sue, maybe we are doing birthdays today. I got a presumption there.
Is it the first week of the month?
It is the first week of the month. We do birthdays and food.
Was I instructed as like the new trumpet guy that the first week of the month we do birthday? Yeah.
I have been duly chastised here.
So.
And rightfully so.
That's right. I was taking the time, so I forgot to do it. I haven't. I know Joanne's the last day of the month. Where's the rest of our stuff again here? All righty, so we have Joanne Smida on January 13th. We have Don Heller on the 21st. And Mr. Chris Horniman brings up the end at January 31st. He just snuck in. So we have 3 Rotarians. So let's do a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you. And they live down in our valley.
Thank you, Eric.
Welcome.
Appreciate that. By the way, Eric has done a great job with this technology. Seems like every week there's a new iteration. We have a very special Dandy pointer here now for you. You'll see with the slideshow today. This is like the 21st century. This is very cool. I have no announcements to do, so we'll go right to club announcements. I know Larry wanted to make an announcement.
Yeah, I'm very excited to report to you that in our fundraising effort for the Scholarship Foundation, we've had a major donor step forward. We've had a major donor step forward. I'll be making that announcement more specifically later. In fact, I think they'll be coming to make the donation in person. So we're continuing to move forward towards our 2026 goal $200,000 in our foundation account so that we can fund 2 perpetual scholarships. So that's good news.
Alex, do you want to say, Ralph, you want to say anything about food today?
I want to thank everybody because we've had an outgoing amount of food overflowing in the 45. In addition to that, I had collected $90. Okay, and I thought that was great. And now I just received another one. So that brings us up to 110. That's wonderful. Thank you all. Thank you, Mark.
Other club announcements. We have. Just sitting back and Happy New Year's. Okay, good. We're doing the raffle a little differently today. As part of the presentation that Cindy and Chris are going to do, we're going to talk about the amount of money that this club has donated locally, internationally, to the Rotary community worldwide. And you're going to put a guess. At your table, there are file cards. I didn't bring any pencils or pens, but I want you to put a number on there, what you think this club has donated over the last 5 years, locally, globally, and the top, who's ever closest without going over, we're going to have sort of 5 million Rotary dollars and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so how much do you think we've donated as a club? I have one of the slides up here. Okay, go on to that. All of it. Whatever number Cindy came up with. Cindy, answer the question.
The last 5 years.
Okay, so just hang on to that for right now, and we will get to that as part of the program today. All right, club announcements. Okay, good. Let's get to Sergeant at Arms. What do you have for us today, Don?
So most people, I believe, have pins and name badges on. I guess I should caution myself when I get close to people in this COVID situation going on, when I try to see what you're doing. One person was late. I don't know if you saw Alan walk in, but I won't mention his name at all, so we don't have to worry about it. And as I've been doing through this whole COVID thing, is I've been trying to concentrate more on happiness and happy dollars. So if you have fines and you want to give me fines, that is fine. I believe somebody is missing a pin, and I will collect that from her later. But is there any happiness going on to begin the new year? Go for it, Cindy.
I have 5 happy dollars. I'm happy because a week ago Monday, I ended up having some serious eye surgery, and I can see a little bit and I can drive. So I'm
Driving the bumper cars.
I ain't telling. Nobody
Someone with the tires around it.
Go ahead, Joe.
All right, 5 happy dollars. I think I was pretty much absent most of the month of December. So I did spend a week down in Florida. It was felt good down there. But just hope everybody had a good Christmas, holidays, and New Year's. And I'll be down in North Carolina next week, so you won't see me.
We'll miss you again.
You'll miss me again. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Good to have you back.
All right.
I'm just happy. So here's 5. I'll need change.
Yeah, I guess you will.
Sooner or later.
Look at that. How's that?
Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Is there?
I got another 5 happy dollars. So when I was down in Florida, I flew from St. Pete down to Marco Island. It was like an hour-and-a-half flight down, hour-and-a-half flight back. On the way down in Naples, Florida, that's where all the rich people are. The traffic control goes, stay out of the Naples airspace, you know. They didn't want my little plane going through there while all the private jets were coming in and leaving. So, you know, stay out of it, stay the hell out of it. You know? Okay.
So your private jet was being repaired?
That's right, that's right, mine was in the hangar, yeah.
Rory has a new knee. Shoulder, knee.
He's not happy about it. Because once you do one, then the other one goes, and he's just, worried about that. So we're gonna keep happiness to a minimum now.
I'm happy to see winners here today, rejoining the club.
Yeah, back to you. All right, let's get on with the program here. Eric, if you could bring up the PowerPoint, please.
Traditionally, what happens in Rotary is we have the 4 quarters, and at the beginning of this quarter, we have a club assembly. And it's up to the president what you do. You'll see what I have here. If you remember, I have sort of this Star Wars theme going, so I had to go out and find some new pictures again. By the way, Eric got this handy dandy slide thing now. This is just so cool. Watch it. You can stay there. You don't have to say next. It's just very cool. So I'm gonna have, and look at this. It's got a pointer on it. Wow. This is power here. This is pretty cool. So I'm gonna have a few remarks. Cindy and Chris are gonna say some things about the money, and this is where we're gonna find out who's closest with the amount of money that we've donated. Fundraising chairs are gonna give us a preview of coming events. Courtney, I guess you're doing the membership. I don't see Wade here. I thought he was on.
He's on.
He's still on there. Good. All right. Next slide. That's so cool. We survived, now we're going to thrive, and which I think we're starting to do coming out of this mess. And certainly, I thank everyone who's been so helpful over these last 6 months of my presidency. Anytime I've asked anyone to do something, everyone has jumped in and helped. That's really good. So just a reminder, just a couple of the goals that I had was to get our membership back up to 95. I don't know if we're going to do that or not. Now, I'm going to count Sue Wenner as one coming back in. I mean, that's maybe fudging it a little bit, but I'm going to take that. So, but we need to continue working on finding people for our club who are interested in service or excited about service. So we're all finders. We all go out and find people. We all have our own circles of influence, and we want to find people and bring them in. One of the things I want to tell you that I have committed to doing, and it's just started now, is what I call the Dream Team Finder Team. These good people agreed to help me. We're going to meet next week by Zoom, I hope, and we're going to talk to businesses in the area locally, and we're going to approach them with the message of Rotary, and do they have employees who would be interested in coming to Rotary, being a part of our Rotary Club or any Rotary Club. We want them involved. And then in February, we're going to start contacting the businesses with our message, see if they will give that message to their employees and see if we can bring some of those folks in. I know they're out there. We just have to find them and bring them in. A reminder of this chart, the diversity in Rotary, and what we're going to focus on is right here, the jobs part. And with the jobs, if we can go out and find people, employees in business, this is what I'm thinking, this is my vision, is if we can find them, I think that we will also find people in these other categories as well. I think we start with this one in the center here with the jobs, and then we move on from there and bring other people into the club and hit some of these other areas of diversity. We're looking for service participation. We're probably not going to hit this. I really thought we'd have more people involved with in the Make a Difference days. We only had about 40. I was shooting for 75 or 90 or 100. And Karen and Nicole have just done a super job with the service side of this and the projects. I'm just so proud of what they did. And we're going to do something again in April. Is another national day of service. We're going to find some more projects to do that. I haven't told them that. Don't tell them that yet. But that's coming up in April. So I think we can do more. I think we can bring more of those people in our membership and have them involved.
achievement, bringing the 5 new members in, sponsoring 5, we're definitely going to get that. So I like how people are going out and talking to people, spreading the Rotary message. And service projects, we're easily going to have 15 service projects. The ones that we've been doing here, that Megan has been very kind enough to facilitate here, counting the ones that make a difference days, no doubt we'll have at least 15 service projects. One of the things that has really impressed me, and I guess it was a few weeks ago when Mark Earl presented a check to Tales of Valor for $6,000. I sat back and I was thinking, I wonder, do the members really know how much we give? I didn't. It's not like I had an answer. But I think we all work so hard at this, but sometimes we don't really see where this money goes. So I asked Cindy and Chris to put some numbers together and list the projects and so on. So I asked them to talk about it, and that's the number. Don, if you could collect those cards. So put a number on the card, what you think, and Don, if you would go through when you see the number and pick the winners, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay?
Are we going to put our names on the card?
Oh, yeah, put your name on it too.
Oh, you have to do handwriting analysis.
Yeah. I trust everybody. If it was your number, so make sure your name is on the card as well. Thank you for that reminder. That was so Cindy and Chris are going to tell us about where our money goes. And on your table, on the table, there are 2 different sheets that Cindy is going to be talking about. This one has green at the top of it. This one is the international project examples. And there's another one I think has red at the top there, the local. So as Cindy's talking, I'm amazed. I mean, look at this international over the last 5 years.
No, that's longer.
Oh, it's longer, sorry.
International is probably-
I just printed what you gave me, Cindy. So Cindy, Chris, come on up here and talk. Okay, so this is where we were going to do that. So that's where you're going to start.
Okay, hi, everybody. First, I want to just say the power that we have in this club and us working together is just amazing. One of the things that we do, and we've really learned how to utilize our money. And because we combine it oftentimes with our foundation dollars, our impact is double. And I work with Chris to look at the budgets of what we have and what we normally do. And this has worked out good. So whatever we make in a fundraiser, okay, the big fundraiser, let's say golf, we take that money, I'm not going to use $30,000 because that was our goal. And for the next Rotary year, we divide that equally, 10, 10, and 10. We were doing just local projects, international projects. Now, until we get our $200,000 in the youth, we go 10, 10, and 10. And then each committee determines the projects that we're going to go after. And by the way, all of them recommended by our Rotarians. So that really works. Sometimes when we look at, Chris gets a lot of questions, when we look at our funds, it looks like we have a lot of money, but it's a cash flow issue. Some projects take longer than others, but in the end, we do a lot of stuff. So let's first talk about the local. Our largest local project that we have ever done was initiated by Rick Zayats, and he wrote me in just to help in 2019, and we ended up calling it the East Penn Feeding Program. It was a lunch program at Lincoln and Jefferson. We met with the Kiwanis, the Lions and Lionesses, and the school district, which helped them get involved. Today, we've established the East Penn Feeding Program. We have little signs. This is what a bag of food goes for. Yesterday, we distributed about 65 bags. It was over 200 in COVID. Each bag contains what we worked with Second Harvest as well as Lehigh Valley Hospital to support a family for a weekend. There's a can of either SpaghettiOs or soup, macaroni and cheese or rice, vegetables, fruit, tuna or chicken, juice or milk, and once a month peanut butter and cereal. As of today, we have served over 10,200 bags of food. That is incredible. Cohort in crime here, Eric, and many of the people in the room come each week. We have this down to a science in terms of how we pack. The biggest challenge we've had is the supply chain shortage. So what we've done now as of this week, Eric and I calculated what we thought we would need for the rest of the school year because there's certain things we couldn't get. It took us a month to get fruit cans. Okay, for example, at wholesaler free. We are not getting food free anymore from Second Harvest, except sometimes with Bethel Pantry. We got some macaroni and cheese and fruit juice this past week. But so we are good. In addition, we have fundraisers. You'll get a report in this next month before Mario goes into tax season. We have about $30,000 in the Emmaus Rotary Foundation account. But as of now, we've used all of our grant monies through the foundation, and we, knock on wood, should be good for the rest of the school year, barring maybe $1,000. So we're good for now. If we have to continue to purchase food, and we expect we're going to, there's going to be a need in our community. That's all there is to it. And we're going to try to look at the sources. We have established what's called the East Penn feeding program. Rick contacted a bunch of people. I contacted, we have a lot of the local churches. We have the Kiwanis, Lions, Linus, all of which, by the way, have donated money to our cause. Even the YMCA, and have asked people if they want to be interested to support us. We are not allowing any of those people to help us pack at this point because of COVID. And it becomes very complicated. Faith Presbyterian is amazing. We have our whole room. We have pallets set up. So if you haven't had the chance to volunteer, please contact me and we'll get you in there. So almost $20,000 so far to the East Penn feeding program. That's amazing. You wait, go back. What are you doing? He got a new toy.
Exactly.
Okay, so also, if you can see some of our other, this is the last 5 years, and I'll tell you our whole, through our local projects and our community service committee, they recommend different things and go out in the community to see what's needed. We've done a couple ambulance equipment. We got a special COVID release grant. We have one of the NICU chairs, which a friend of mine who holds babies actually sat in last week and said, oh, wow, there's a NICU chair. That's ours. I said, our Rotary Club gave that. We've helped with the Emmaus Playground. We've done it. We've got new printers for the Lower Macungie Library. We started a raised bed vegetable garden for all of Area 1, which is now distributed among the churches. Hopefully by next year, we'll be able to have some fresh stuff in our feeding program. And I guessed Tales of Valor was in excess of 10,000, which supports our veterans. Over 5 years, it's actually been near 20,000. And that's not even a grant, that's just donations, thanks to Mark Earl and his committee. Our local Make a Difference Day, I didn't count monies, but there's been a few $100s here and there for monies. But we do 5 or 6 projects every year locally for our impact. As well as every year we budget, I think it's $1,000, Chris, of if people have a need in the community. We support the Rose Bowl parade, we've supported softball teams that they ask us at our club. This is because we raise money to be able to do that. Our current open project, which includes a grant with the Rotary Foundation, is over at Juxta Hub. We wanted to be one of the first ones to do something locally with the new arts center so we can have an impact there. They've been on hold because of COVID, but our project will be like our first Rotary project in Chicago, and it will be building a new toilet. So our impact locally is amazing. Any questions? Anything anybody would like to know about the local stuff?
That's an expensive toilet.
It's what they call a royal flush.
It's actually part, yeah. It's actually part of the whole revitalization that they've had to do for the restrooms, including disability access, etc. So, yeah, you're right. That's what I said. And if you have any questions, complain to Gary. Gary is on the board of Juxta.
Will our logo be on the door?
Actually, yes.
Be on the seat.
Actually, I don't think on the seat. Okay, shouldn't have asked for questions. Just me.
What is a DQ chair?
It's a big rocking type chair that when you're holding babies who are in critical care, you have this space to hold them. Gary, you might know more. You know who did that? Was that guy who left because he was sick.
It was part of Lily's Hope.
Yeah,
that
Lily's,
project.
yeah.
But it's a chair that the way it positions your body, you can lay the child right on your chest, and it helps with bonding for moms and their babies.
Okay, now we're going to move along. We'll quickly go through our international projects. Can you press the button? Okay, our international projects have generally been bigger projects, and sometimes it takes 2 years to save enough money to be able to impact. Our biggest international project the last 5 years is we initiated the first vocational training team in education for secondary education in the sciences in the world. In Zambia, and we had a group of teachers from Zambia come here with the East Penn School District, which really helped our relationship there, and we sent a group of teachers there. We currently have 2 projects that we're trying to initiate following that exchange in Zambia that have been on hold due to COVID that we're just now getting started. A couple other things we've done. We had some relationships with the Philippines from a group study exchange several years ago, and we've done some district grants. They've had a lot of typhoons and things there and feeding. In Mexico, we've done several grants, but let's look at Shelter Box. Our club over the last 5 years has given $10,000 at least to Shelter Box. And of course, Polio Plus. In addition to what our members do, our club budgets $1,500 a year to support polio. So you can just see our impact. So any questions on those? Okay, so what do you think the dollars are? Am I supposed to tell?
Yes, Don, how about you go from number 54321? I have the Rotary dollars here. Who is fifth, number 5 here with what number? We don't know.
We don't know the numbers.
Oh, we don't know the
I have 30 cards. Well, actually, I was very delighted that these.
Oh, well, you just told them.
Turned in a blank card. So it was very nice of you, whoever did that.
It's actually 10,000 more than this because I didn't have the Taylor dollars. That's just in 5 years.
All right, so 132,900.
And when we looked at it overall, a couple of years ago, we did a presentation. Our club has given over $500,000 worth of total projects over the course.
Thank you, Cindy. It's pretty amazing when you really look at all this, all the projects and so on. Those sheets amaze me that have all the list of the projects and so on that we've done. So who would be number 5? Jim Kenny at 20,000. Really?
Well, everybody, you ready for this? These are the 5 lowest.
I went the 5 closest to 130.
Without going over.
You just
All
can't get
these-
good sheet help. You know?
All these people, 25 people guessed more than that. So I guess we have to up our game.
Ooh. Yeah, okay,
So
so.
Jim Kenny is position number 5.
Okay, where's Jim? I saw him there.
Yep.
Okay, so Jim gets 5.
Mike Epperly is in 4th place with 75,000.
Cindy, I'm taking that to Mike if you would, please.
Mike
Okay.
Parker is in 3rd place at 80,000. Dynamo Joe is in 2nd place.
Wait, yeah, did I do that backwards? I did do it backwards, didn't I? Sorry, Jim, I gotta take your money back. You still did it on one side of the pile. Ooh. Okay, so who is in Second place.
Joe,
Joe is in second with what number?
100,000.
Okay, so Joe should get 4. And who's in first place?
Rory with 110.
So Jim, give your money to Rory, please. Whoever I gave 4 to, I'm really sorry.
I think you've been out of space too long. with those,
Obviously, I'm not an accountant. I should have Chris Wills do this. That's where I'm going.
That's right. Those
Right.
Star Wars figures got to you, eh?
Yeah, they aren't good at accounting. All right, so isn't that a pretty amazing number when you think about it? Actually, higher than that. So Cindy and everyone who does that and the fundraising crew, this is just amazing to me. I want the membership to see this and how, where our money goes with all the work that gets done.
Mike, a question for you.
Yeah.
So we got local projects, which is primarily within
I
our,
think this is for you, Cindy.
within our footprint here, East Penn, and then we got international projects, What about in Kentucky? They had those major hurricanes. I mean, a whole town was just destroyed. Does Rotary do anything on a national level? Because, those people need all kinds of help.
Yeah, actually.
Fundraising people, if you could come up here real quick.
Actually, there's a couple things that are
Come
happening
on up
right
here.
now.
Gary,
The districts in Rotary in those areas, a lot of them have set up disaster funding programs. Also, our district has donated our first pass $2,000 that's being sent to that district. And what we're going to look at to have further impact is that right now things are in such flux there that there may be some global grants started because they're going to need a couple $100,000.
Or more than
So
that.
to
yeah.
utilize our funds more effectively, we'll kind of wait, give our 2,000 now, and then determine what the overall picture is. We just voted on that about a week ago, so yes.
good question. Thank you. Let's move to the fundraising side of this. I asked the fundraising chairs who are here today to just say a little bit about what's coming up, a little bit of an update, a little status check, and maybe do a little recruiting. Maybe we hear something and somebody want to be on one of these teams. Gary, go.
All right, so we are almost a little over a month out to the Super Bowl. So this year, we're gonna get ahead of that and start the pool. I'll send out an email this weekend with all the details on that. It should go a little smoother than last year. We shouldn't have the post office crisis we had last year. I'll have the address to my office if you want to mail me the check. And I'll set up something else for other payments. So should run a little bit smoother. So this year, each square, this year is Super Bowl 56. If you don't know, I had to look it up. I didn't know. It's February 13th. So each square is going to be $56. $56 a square. So I've been tasked with doing 2 boards. So I'm gonna need the help of the club with that. We got 100, that's 100 squares of board. So that's 200 squares we have to sell. That is, last year we sold the last square the day before the Super Bowl, if I remember correctly. So we have to really get on it. So I'm gonna send an email out to everybody who will participate, everybody in the club, and then everybody who participated. So I apologize if you get 2 from me, maybe you might double it. But if you can then cut and paste and send that out to all your friends, it'll have the information on where they can send the funds and those type of things. So I'll get that done. So if we can get 2 boards done. So here's the whole thing. So Cindy said we might have a slight shortfall, and that's where the money's gonna go to, is to the food program. So if we do 1 board, we will pocket, I don't know if the right term for pocket is right, but net about 3,500, a little over 3,500. And that's still paying out to the winners. So it'll be 250 a quarter. We can win 500 if you win the game. So if we can do 2 boards, we can be in the $7,000. So imagine what that can do for the food program if we can sell out 2 boards. But any questions, let me know. You can bring me checks.
So
Yes, JP.
score at the end of the quarter, not score changes.
Score at the end of the quarter, correct. Same as we did last year, and that'll be in the email explaining exactly how we'll do it, but we'll do it by quarter. So last year, somebody won 3rd quarter and end of game, actually, the way it worked out. So
you need some help?
I have everything set up. Sal had volunteered. I had been in contact with Sal. And Sal said he'd help me with it. Really, all I need is, really all I'll do is I'm actually gonna set up a separate account at the office. And that way people can Venmo, Pop Money, whatever your online banking system handles, you can send that to me. I'll put that in the email. That'll save Don from having to ferry the money over. That was a little bit, not Don's fault, but just in general, it was just a difficult. So I learned lessons from last time. So I don't foresee why we can't get this done this time. And I really would like to get 2 boards done. But we'll see what happens. Any other questions on that?
Thank you, Gary.
Oh, you're welcome.
So this is going into the offshore account, is that? what
Yes,
you're
exactly. It'll go to make all checks payable to. No, just kidding.
saying? All right, thank you. Thank you, Gary.
My bags and beers.
No, you're really good.
All right, you bags and beers. I'll do mini golf. Right now, we have nothing to report. Last year, we had discussions with Mike, Megan. I was trying to squeeze a mini golf in near the end of October. I was able to discuss the using the Saucon, Putt University, and he was willing to open up one night and let us use the facility as we need it. But after talking with Meg and Mike, there was just so many things going on in the fall, from the golf to
Parade.
just everything. Everything hits from September 1st on. So I have to give it some thought. First of all, the most important part of it is getting a date. Once we set the date, I had my notes at the office that I dug up last night, but my goal was to raise anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000, which we could use as we see fit. And it's almost, again, it's mini golf compared to big golf, regular golf. It's the same thing. We look for whole sponsors, some other sponsorship, food donations. It won't be a sit down type of dinner, but we have sandwiches, finger food. We keep score, everything's similar to golf, have some prizes. But again, figure out a date after we talk and get dates for all these events. We'll have to stick it in there and go from there. So it's in the works. In my mind, it's in the works. On paper, it's not in the works.
It's like Don do bags of beer. Thank you.
I have notes from Sal, because you've all heard what's going on there. We're looking for a few more committee members and we'll be meeting soon. That were his notes that he sent me. Last year was our first venture into bags and beer. I think it was 2 years ago, we just did beer. Bags and beer was very successful. I forget how much we raised, but it was. So you can talk.
$7,500.
$7,500 is what that was, for those reading sign language. It was well attended. It was a great time. The hosts were phenomenal, so we'll keep you posted about what's going on with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we should have a date for that in the next few weeks. On the golf outing, good news, Sue Winter, who is here today, should be joining again, has agreed to take over the golf tournament. Okay.
Thank you,
So,
Sue.
thank you. Giving a hand in the start. Obviously, Mary, myself, John, and Steve will help her out, but that's going forward. Last year, we made $27 shy of $21,000. Okay, so for a COVID year, we had a really good run at it last year. So looking forward to it this year. Our first meeting is coming up in 3 weeks, so I'll tell Sue about it and we'll be working on that for next year.
So motorcycle poker run, we just gave the check recently, so some of this is still kind of fresh in people's minds. We're gonna have to meet as a group and decide if we'd like to continue this
program because we had very poor turnout. We had great financial support, but we had very poor turnout. And so the committee needs to decide what's the best way to take it forward. Do we want to invest our energies elsewhere or whatever? So we're certainly receptive to ideas and input, et cetera. And I'll be polling the committee to discuss what we believe that the next steps are. It's been a lot of fun, and I think we've enjoyed preparing, planning, and conducting the event. But it's difficult to get sponsors if we're not getting people coming out to the event, because sponsors typically want to have their name before the community. So we don't want to disappoint sponsors that have given, or the volunteers that put in a lot of hours, and then it's just not as successful. So remains to be seen, but certainly would welcome any input and ideas on that. We do think moving it earlier, which we had intentions of, and then it just kept getting pushed off. So we think earlier in the season would be better. People are a little more excited about getting out as the weather's warming up. So that'll be one thing that we'll certainly be discussing. But thanks again for everybody's continued support of the program.
You need help, Mark? You need volunteers at all?
Well, certainly if anybody would like to be a part of that or participate in brainstorming and discussion, I would welcome that, of course. Yes.
Is anyone from the beneficiary a part of that committee to help, with the planning of the event?
You mean with Tales of Valor?
Yeah.
Not previously, they have not been, but we could certainly reach out to them and see. I mean, they, in the sense that they're aware of the date, they were communicating it through their network, but not an actual plan. But man, that's certainly something we should do.
All right, and to finish off with our flag program. Again, we were off to a good start last year. We had roughly 70 flags out. We didn't have a lot of time to do the marketing angle like I wanted to, but now we do. We have door hangers, so we'll be looking for it going out relatively soon. It is just notifications to everybody. If you were kind enough to subscribe to a flag last year, my committee will be looking to reach out to you to have door hangers to go around your community once to say, hey, would you like to be part of this program as well? In order to make it a substantial program, we really need to get up more like in the 500 plus number of flags for us, which is doable. The company that we work with that is phenomenal on the software and stuff that they do. They have programs that have over 2,000 flags. And a small club in New Hampshire where we ultimately got all this information from. I forget whether it was Jim Palmquist or someone else who visited the club. They're a club of, I think, maybe 30 people. They have over 500 subscribers in their communities for the flag. So I know we can easily top those kind of numbers. It's going to take a lot of work to get it done, but again, it's talking to your neighbors and say, hey, this is something simple. 5-6 times a year, you get a flag at your property. Same, the price will be the same. I think we were just $49 last year. It'll be the same price this year. So we will be looking for a lot of help. This is an ongoing thing as well, where because somebody can subscribe mid-program and it's all prorated as to when they sign on as to what the fee would be. It's well handled online, all that kind of stuff. So we'll be looking forward to everybody's support on that. So thank you.
Okay, while Courtney's coming up and say a few words, one thing I want to point out with the fundraisers is, and this is kudos to Lexa. If you remember over a year ago, she had us sit and brainstorm ideas for fundraisers. And the bags part of this, the cornhole, the mini golf, subscription service are 3 new ones as of last year that we didn't have before, which are going to generate more money for us. So kudos to her. I want to thank her for doing that.
Hey, Wade just told me he will back me up on Zoom, but it's all right. We'll relax. I can take it over. The membership committee is moving ahead. A lot of the stuff is behind the scenes. We do have a monthly meeting with Jean, our secretary, who Wade and I meet with to make sure people aren't falling through the cracks, to make sure that we're ushering people through the system, because that has been tough to track in the past. And we've got our orientation committee members that have been helping to put together our orientation packages, so that we should have that up and running smoothly in the spring. But what I have in my hand are our latest Rotary brochures. So I'm gonna walk around and give everybody 3 of them. So 3 isn't that many, but I challenge you each to hand out 3 brochures. It can be posted in your church lobby or put in your doctor's office, or put a sticky note on the brochure with your name and contact info and hand it to a friend. So here are our brochures, and we may be handing them out at another time too. So that's why I'm only giving you 3.
Thank you.
Fred, you're first.
Thanks to Courtney and Wade for the hard work they're doing with the new Friori model. And we're going to be moving that forward. So any questions from anybody? That's the last presentation. Any questions for anybody who's presented here today? Anything come to mind?
Can I just make a quick comment? So on January 18th, I'm gonna hold a quick meeting about an hour long for all the event committee chairs. So that service, fellowship, and any of these major events, so that we can coordinate the schedule for this year. So we're not overlapping too many events in a time period and not, extending our club member volunteer hours, donation money, and helping to spread the love as far as sponsorship of those 2. So that'll be January 18th. I think I said 5:30 at 191 Main Street. There's an email already sent out, but I just wanted to make the club aware of it happening. Thanks.
Thank you. That's something we probably should have been doing every year, is meeting and making sure the dates for that coming year are where we want them to be, so there isn't overlap. You're right about volunteers, reaching out to sponsors. So thank you. Anything else? All right. Let's end with the 4-way test today. I think we're right on 30.
We are 8:31.
The things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned?
Will build goodwill and better friendships. Beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone who presented. And
Let's report St. Patty's Day in there.
Go forth and do good.
Bye all.
Bye all.
For the flag,
Yes, yes.
So long, everybody. Thanks, Eric.
Welcome. Thank you all for being here this morning.
You should have got 4 then. I got 4.
Hi.